Hi everyone, Amethyst Ravensong here with another book review. I just finished The Witching Hour by Anne Rice. This was a reread for me. When I first started reading, I only read Anne Rice and I would just reread and reread and reread. And after about like 6 years of that, I was like, okay, I should branch out and read other things and not do this weird reread thing I do. But that was a while ago. And it was kind of nice to reread. And I did it because I just wanted something to read. And I didn't really have the ability to get something new to read right now. Right now, things are just a little tight. And I'm making do. So I picked up something that I haven't read in a while. And I'm really glad I did. Because, seriously, this is the reason I started reading was Anne Rice. And that's in another video. If you want that story, you can go look at my video about Prince Lestat and the Realms of Atlantis, because I talk about it there. But it was just kind of good to pick it back up again. And it was like talking to an old friend. And any other reader will completely understand what I'm talking about when I say that. And it's just kind of funny, too, for me to kind of look at the parallels here. Because I started reading Anne Rice when I was a teenager. And I, had my very overprotective mother who kept me in a lot. And I didn't have, like, a social life of my own, so I read. And now I have different life circumstances where I'm in a lot and I don't really have a social life. And so I'm reading. And it's just kind of funny. Because, like, I was a teenager and I wanted a boyfriend. And I was like, ooh, Lestat. He was my fictional boyfriend. And it's just kind of funny because I look back on that and I'm like, oh, Lestat's a pain in the ass. Like, I was into Lestat, and I've dated a few guys since that were kind of like Lestat, and it will cure you of it really fast. And so it was just kind of funny that I read this at this time where I'm in this space again, because I was like, Michael Curry. Michael Curry is my new fictional boyfriend. Because he's I love that he, like, comes in on the scene and he just loves her, and that's it, and there's no games, and there's no pretense, and he's with her, and end of story. And then, of course, the way, like, Anne Rice writes about him, this sexy man-beast, huge dude with broad shoulders, thick arms, and curly hair, and blue eyes, and, oh, okay. And the way she writes about their sex, because, oh yeah, Anne Rice, not afraid, Anne Rice will go into some sex that you really don't want to read about sometimes. If you have a thing for incest, you'll like Anne Rice. I don't, so I just kind of suffer through, but it's part of her story, and it does make sense for the context of the story, so you just kind of plow through it. But Michael Curry and what he does in the bedroom and what she describes is okay. And even just like the way she describes him. So I have to do it. I have to read a couple of excerpts of her talking about him, because so there's this. Her description of him. Porn. That's what he was. Walking porn. Take the times when he rolled up his sleeves and tucked his Camel cigarettes in the right armfold and put a pencil behind his ear as he stood arguing with the carpenters and the painters. Yeah, okay. Or how about this? Yesterday, he climbed the long, thin ladder up the side of the house like a pirate climbing the rope ladder of a ship. And then the sight of him, bare-chested, with his foot on the parapet, his hair blowing, on the one hand raised to wave, as if he had no idea in the world that this series of unself-conscious gestures was driving her slowly out of her mind. I'd like my Michael Curry, please. Can I put that out to the universe? Michael Curry. Or someone very like him, because, yeah. I mean, let me tell ya. I'm going to get personal, and I'm sorry if this is TMI, but my sex drive was officially dead, alright? We had a funeral for that shit because it's gone. And any attempt I've had in the last year of reviving it has kept it pretty damn dead. And then she comes along with her description of a fictional character, and I'm like, oh, hey, I'm capable of still being aroused. Who knew? So good. But that's what Anne Rice does. She's detail-oriented. She writes beautifully in a way that's descriptive and makes you feel like you're there. And then, oh, let's just add a really amazing, interesting story to boot. Why aren't more people reading Anne Rice? I don't understand. I love so much. I love it so much. So this is the first book in the series. There's 3 of the Mayfair Witch series. And it's kind of fun for me. As you can see, like, my book has been taped there and there. And there's a reason for that. It's a little bit sentimental because I had both my grandpas died about 10 years ago within 6 months of each other. And it was really sad for me because while I had really good loving relationships with them, they were both the type of men that didn't talk about themselves. And I feel like I didn't really get the chance to get to know them, which saddens me. I wish I would have got them to open up and got to know them better. What was interesting is when both of them died, I was given permission by my family, the reader, to choose any of their books to take. And it was an opportunity to get to know them a little better because it turned out that they had very similar reading tastes to me. And I thought that was kind of cool. And they had other things that they read that I have no interest in. I'll probably never in my life pick up a Dean Koontz book. But never say never. Maybe I will. I don't know. But my mother's father, I got to get this one from his bookshelf. And, hey, I got to know him a little better. He liked Anne Rice. And then when I went to pick out books from my father's father, there was the next book, Lasher. So that's kind of cool that this book came from my maternal grandfather and that book came from my paternal grandfather. So, a little sentimental there. I have taken every precaution I can to make this book last because of where it came from. It's important to me. So yeah, it's just kind of fun. Sorry, little trip down memory lane there. A little nostalgia for my sake. But they're good stories. Yes, she writes about incest. Yes, she writes about sex. And she's not afraid to get into subject matter that is somewhat scary. Rape, incest. It's in here. Statutory rape. So it's not for the faint of heart. If that's gonna disturb your peace, don't pick them up. If you can take it, pick them up. And know that these are facts of life. These things happen. They've been happening forever. So she writes about them. She's not afraid to. She's brave. I don't know if I could write about those subjects personally, but yeah. But they're really good. She's a great storyteller. She makes you invested in her characters. They're great. Pick them up. I'm sure I'll cruise through Lasher pretty quick, and we'll be posting that video again soon. But if you're looking for a good story that you can just kind of get lost in and spend 3 days in a row reading all day because you can't put it down, give Anne Rice a shot. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.